It seems to me that we're going through a bit of market hysteria. Our country says DEI is an inappropriate, illegal term. Only one person has said that it's ill-defined and not defined at all. There are no DEI laws, so you can't break a law that's not a law. It's an aspiration, diversity, out of many we're one, equity, equal protection, inclusiveness. You want to bring more people in. How can we make sure that there's greater market participation, and how can we get to the depth and bring people in that are currently in the margins that would have a higher barrier to getting access to information, to these resources to be a market participant?
Yeah, thank you, Congressman, for that question. Right. So at the Milken Institute, as you know, you're very familiar with the institute. We spend a lot of time thinking about how do we improve access to capital for underserved populations, financial inclusion for underserved populations, and really to what end? And it's really about economic mobility. If we can provide financial inclusion for people who have not been included into the financial system, there's an opportunity for them to move up the economic ladder. So that's really what it's all about. And so we do that in a number of ways, focusing on underserved entrepreneurs, underserved communities like rural communities. We've worked with the Department of Commerce on helping to get access to federal dollars from communities that had not been able to do that. And also the providers of the capital. We have an HBCU Fellows program to put people on a pathway to careers in asset management. And a lifetime financial security program looking exactly what you're looking at is how do we get more investment opportunities for folks that maybe don't have $100,000 to invest at small dollar amounts. And that's where a well-regulated system that promotes competition is the best way to do that, because then you get competitors competing for everybody, whether it's offering access to the financial system in a brick and mortar situation or on the phone or whatever it is. The more competition you get, and we've seen that the costs have gone down and down and down over decades.
And thank you, Dr. Purewar. From the capital markets perspective, efficiency and liquidity are critical drivers of innovation and growth. We accept that. How do you see the current regulatory environment impacting liquidity specifically for the formation of the crypto markets? I'm more concerned about how they reduce the bid-ask price, how they'll be the next evolution of innovation in this market.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful question. Given the SEC's, I mentioned the threefold mandate, right? And it's the key here is, as you mentioned, liquidity, efficiency, and I would add price discovery. So if we can provide a proper framework where people feel protected, have the information to make informed decisions in terms of buying, selling, holding securities, right? That will create more efficient markets. You will have better price discovery, better liquidity for the investors, and more efficient allocation of resources in terms of capital formation for the entrepreneurs like Avery here, and we'll get more innovation. So it's a virtuous circle.
And the last question I would ask, because I'm very much concerned about you have to grow the market, increase liquidity, all the other good drivers in there, but considering the historical access, that diversity is an initiative, equity is an initiative, these things have been innovative in bringing this multicultural society together. I bring that up because diversity, if we let the markets go their way with certain access to broadband and other things, it will become inefficient. I'm trying to figure out how do we keep that as a mandate or as a goal and aspiration so that it enhances the market. It does not detract from the market. So most people say, oh, why is he saying diversity, equity, inclusion? Because I can. And I think it's very important, and it helps the capital markets. Can you respond to that, please?
Yeah. So one thing that I've been that I mentioned when I was a commissioner at the SEC is that we prohibit some investors from investing in certain investment opportunities. And the SEC has these rules called the accredited investor definition that says, look, some things are so complex, so risky, that only sophisticated investors can invest in them. And how does the SEC define sophistication? If you're rich. If you have a high net worth, you've got high net income, you can invest in stuff. So the rich get richer and the other folks get left behind. So this is one where we can really democratize opportunities for investment by looking at the accredited investor definition and make sure that it doesn't seep into the digital asset regulation as well.